Including the CBN Act.
Yeah, including the CBN Act. But the fundamental question is this. Wasn't it the legislature that passed the CBN Act?
It's an act of the National Assembly.
It's an act of the National Assembly as well. So it now becomes a controversy. The National Assembly is now weeping that the power that we divested and give to the CBN is now being misused. They are now crying that let us take back this power and redefine banking in the world or in Nigeria.
Do you think they should do that?
Well, I want to believe that they can do that. I want to believe the question is, do you think they can do that? Yeah. And the answer is they can, because they have the power.
Should they?
Should they? Well, I want to believe that they should invite several stakeholders, elder statesmen in the industry and in the nation today, deliberate on these issues. My personal opinion is that they should do it. And I will tell you why. In the history of this world, when currencies have been issued, I refer to 1861 in the United States economy, President Abraham Lincoln, he issued what they call the greenbacks. The greenbacks they were not currencies issued by the CBN. They were issued directly by the government. And these were currencies that were issued without interest. Today, any currency that is issued by the CBN, the Nigerians must pay direct taxes on these currencies. They are issued with interest. And that is what is known as fractional reserve banking and all the monetary policy brouhaha that we talk about in the financial system today. It is because of these issues that the CBN government is sounding that warning that, hey, look, if we continue with these subsidy payments, if we continue with the approach that we have deployed in recent time, Nigeria will collapse in the near future. And you see, that is why I said it's my personal opinion. I have a right by Section 39 of freedom of expression. I'm not saying that it is correct, but that is my own stand on it. That if the National Assembly takes back that power, then the power of the National Assembly of coinage, currency, minting, determining weights and measures will now become a reality. Because as it stands today, their power is useless in line, with that perspective.
Does that mean then, if they were to take back that power which they delegated to the CBN, would they be assuming a CBN function, technically?
Well, there's a way that will work out, because functions can be delegated. They can split their duties. The CBN can be in charge of, monetary policy issues, report directly to the legislature in charge of printing and minting currencies. That will give us another picture of how a financial system should operate. But you see, what I've said today would receive a lot of criticism, not just in Nigeria, but within the larger picture of the financial economy.
Why do you think so?
Thank you very much. The reason why I say so is this. We are here talking about the financial system of Nigeria. What about the larger picture? What is obtainable in the world? For instance, we know that there's a single unit of currency that they call the EU now. And Nigeria's financial system is a relic of colonialism. The Bank of England had controlled our financial system before the Banking Ordinance of 1952. Now the Bank of England has relinquished the power over its central bank to the European Union. So basically, in international finance, central banks should not be, or the power to issue currency should not reside in the legislature, because banking usually has international influence. For instance, I can presume, because I don't have the facts, he who asserts must prove. That's what the law says. I can presume that the monies the AMCON boss claimed was injected, or were injected into these banks, the trillions that were borrowed from outside, will have been borrowed from an organizational institution. Because there's an institution in the world today they call Bank for International Settlement. The Bank for International Settlement is a private organization that is recognized all over the world, and their duty is to assist central banks of nations. So if the Bank of International Settlement is a private organization and it is assisting central banks, the question is, who are the people behind the Bank for International Settlement?
But the way all of this plays out, where shareholders and people out there just think that, well, the way CBN and AMCON have gone about it, they owe them, they don't seem to take them into cognizance, because such comment, which is cited by stakeholders saying, they quote CBN and AMCON saying, well, we have no obligations so far whatsoever with the shareholders, because that is supposed to have been sorted out, and so there are daggers drawn with them. How do they sort that out?
Well, I want to think that most of these issues that you have talked about can be summarized to answer that question in this particular direction. The sovereignty of the financial system, the power over the financial system, I've told you where it resides. So that explains to you the power that the CBN governor is wielding today. In fact, even the president of the country may not even have the custody of such powers, because this is a man that determines how subsidy payments are made. This is a man that determines even how the government is being run, because the way it is now, the CBN even has the power to lend the government money.
Should we allow that to go on?
Wow, that's a good question. And it's for the intelligent minds in the country to decide.
But if it's working and it's helping the economy, why change it?
Well, the question is it helping the economy? Is it working?
What do you think?
Well, my perspective on that is that it's not working. It's obvious that it's not working. If you look at the bailout that has taken place in the last 3 years, thousands of individuals have lost, their jobs. Unemployment issue in the country is still alarming. A lot of people are out there, they are jobless. People can't even find jobs because there are no jobs. And you see, but we are celebrating banking, we are celebrating monetary policies, and we are celebrating all these things at the expense of development in the economy. Roads are bad, infrastructure is not in place, there's no light, no water. So how do you explain that it is working?